Guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and as promised, I'm hoping to have a couple of these shorter 10 to 12, maybe 15-minute videos with just a couple of shenanigan stories that I find throughout the day that may not fit the newsy news kind of a thing, or might be just something I find odd during the day and want to share with you guys. So, our first story is this gentleman, a man who escaped an Oregon prison 30 years ago, was found in Georgia with a fake ID, or, well, a stolen ID, according to authorities. I mean, who'd have thunk it? A man who escaped an Oregon state prison nearly 30 years ago and stole the identity of a deceased child. Okay, you do not take a child's name. What in the graveyard robbing, soul stealing ridiculousness is this? Steve Craig Johnson, who had been convicted of SA charges, escaped from a prison work detail in the Mill Creek Correctional Facility in Salem, Oregon on November 29th, 1994, according to officials. He had been in the Oregon Department of Corrections custody since June '89. Johnson, now 70, was arrested Tuesday afternoon in an apartment complex in Macon, Georgia, by U.S. Marshal Service and one of its fugitive task force teams, according to the service. He had been living at the apartment complex under the name of William Cox since 2011, the service said in a release. An investigation revealed that Johnson had stolen the identity of a child who died in Texas in January 1962, according to the release. Johnson obtained a copy of the child's birth certificate and was eventually able to get a social security number in Texas in 1995, according to officials. Johnson obtained a Georgia's driver's license 3 years later. In 2015, the Marshal Service adopted the case at the request of the Oregon Department of Corrections, according to the release. The discovery of the stolen identity came after new investigative technology employed by the U.S. State Department Diplomatic Security Service. So, read closed circuit television facial recognition technology. We have people sending their DNA to companies that are giving it to the government, and we have surveillance everywhere. This dude, you can run, you can hide, but you are not going to be able to hide forever unless you're like way off grid. And even then, sure, they'll find you. Not a comforting thought, but there you go. It is what it is. Unless, the entire internet goes all the way down, we're kind of stuck with this. Johnson was booked into Georgia's Bibb County Jail and is awaiting extradition back to Oregon, according to Oregon Department of Corrections. It is unknown if he has an attorney. Johnson was one of Oregon's most wanted fugitives, according to the Correction Department website. He is I know you're in a shock to no one with this mustache, but he is in fact one in a long line waiting to be received by Lord Chippy, if you get my drift, allegedly in Minecraft. Victimizing preteen boys. In 2019, a wanted poster from the Correction Department warned that fugitive Johnson should not be allowed contact with children. Sir, Snake Island is almost too good. How many victims do you have now because you ran away? We don't know what the ever living schnell you have been doing, probably victimizing. It's not like you can cut this off cold turkey. From what I have gathered, I'm not a, doctorologist or anything of the sort. But I doubt that this is something that you just quit like smoking or something. I don't think there's a patch for this. So, again, I posit my theory. When you are charged, when you are adjudicated guilty of these crimes against children, you can go to a commune, same sex, with people just like you, and y'all can do whatever. We will have security. We will not allow anyone to do anything to you, but don't leave that community, okay? Stay the hell away from children. That's about the kindness level that you're going to get. I'm sorry. Mill Creek Creek Correctional Facility closed in 2021 under the order of then Governor Kate Brown as part of her sentencing reform efforts. According to the Oregon Department of Correction, it originally opened in 1929 as the farm annex of the Oregon State Penitentiary. Until 1998, inmates processed milk from the Farmers Cooperative for use by other state institutions, according to Oregon Historical Society. MCCF was a minimum security prison located 5 miles southeast of Salem on 2,089 acres. The facility was unfenced and housed approximately 290 adults in custody who were within 4 years of release, the department said. Brown's decision to close 3 Oregon prisons, including Mill Creek, was made to save the state more than $44 million, according to the Associated Press. Brown said she wanted to reduce reliance on incarceration and invest more in preventing people from entering the criminal justice system. Well, invest in my, communes of creepos idea, and I think we can figure this out, ma'am. Well, I didn't have this on my bingo card, but apparently we found pictures have been taken of an uncontacted rainforest tribe in Peru near a logging site. Leave these people alone. Let them be peaceful. Let them not have the stresses of TikTok and Instagram and, well, the funniness of dank memes. But, let them just be themselves. They seem to have figured things out for generations upon generations. Let's not, bring our Gen-lennial, Gen X, current traumatic stress to them. Dozens of uncontacted people deep in the Peruvian Amazon have been captured on camera just several miles from a number of logging areas, a human rights group said. They are believed to be from the largest uncontacted tribe in the world. In the images released by Survival International, a London-based human rights organization founded in 1969 that campaigns for the rights of indigenous tribal uncontacted people. Okay, riddle me this, y'all, because maybe I am just a little jaded. Maybe, since Saturday I've taken on maybe a little bit of a different view. But could these people not speak for themselves? I mean, do they really need saviors in the form of, people from Cambridge and people who have very academic views of what their life and their culture is, but haven't experienced it, don't understand deep down, soul deep, what it means to be connected to the land and what their values are? I hate this. We must speak for these people. I mean, I get the idea behind it. I do, that, you could have naivete that could be exploited. But here lately, all of these groups that claim to talk for the little person seem to talk over what the little person actually wants to be said. It seems like they decide on, the greater zeitgeist for good and then, go barging ahead regardless of what the little person that they're supposed to be speaking for wants or needs. It would be the same as if Mr. Mo went into rooms and, told everyone, stay away from Mo's left side. She doesn't want you talking to her about her CRPS. She will not look you directly in the eye. She's goofy. You will not notice her wigs. I mean, sure, I would kind of like someone to tell people like, hey, my left side is sensitive, like a guard dingus next to me who wouldn't go traitor on me because he loves cuddles. But that would be nice, but I wouldn't do it that aggressively. I think that there is something deeply wrong when, and maybe this group isn't like this. I haven't ever done research, so I'm not casting this aspersion on them. But some of these groups take on this I know greater, I know the best for you kind of attitude and cease to fulfill the function that they first were created for, which was giving these people a voice. You take it away and decide what's best for them, and I don't like that. But anywhoozle, back to the actual article, and let me put my soapbox away. Let's see here. The more than 50 Mashco-Piro people can be seen appearing near the vine village of Monte Salvo in southwestern Peru. In a separate incident, another group of 17 appeared near the neighboring village of Puerto Nuevo, sorry, not Nova. Officials said the Vine, who are not contacted, speak a language related to Mashopiro, and have previously reported that Macho Pirro angrily denounced the presence of loggers on their land. Campaigners from Survival International say this is a graphic example of the, quote, urgent need to revoke all logging licenses in the area and recognize that territory belongs to the Macho Pirro people, which Survival believes is the largest uncontacted tribe in the world. Several logging companies hold timber concessions, a territory administered outside the government perimeters, used in resource extraction inside Peruvian territory that belongs to the Mashopiro people. The nearest logging area is just a few miles from where were filmed. So I think there's a simple solution. It's a large world. Peru is a giant country. Can we just possibly not go next to the only uncontacted tribe or one of the few? Could we possibly pick any other spot? I feel like this is, it's a multi-layered problem, but it could have a fairly simple solution if everyone decided not to be a jackass. But it is 2024, the year of our lovely clown, and who knows what they're going to pick. In our final story, we have a 14-year-old phenom, Cavin Sullivan, 14, breaks Freddie Adu's record and debuts in Evolved MLS, not God of Law MLS, but the Major League Soccer. Well, Major League Soccer, I guess it's not the Major League Soccer League, which would be redundant and a weird acronym. But we always say ATM machine when machine is in there. So, y'all, I don't understand language creoles. I just make my own up. Cavin, I want to call him Calvin. I'm sorry, sir. Well, young man. Cavin Sullivan, at 14 years old and 293 days, stepped onto Major League Soccer field Wednesday night, and in the 85th minute of the Philadelphia Union's match against New England, made all sorts of history. He became the youngest player to ever appear in an MLS game, breaking a record famously held by Freddie Adu, 14 years, 306 days, for more than 2 decades. Sullivan is also the youngest kid to ever appear at any major U.S. team sports league. He is younger than everyone who has ever played in the Big Five European soccer leagues, England's Premier League, Spain's La Liga, Germany's Bundesliga. Look, y'all know I'm straight Midwest with a side of ranch dressing. I have no idea. Italy's Serie A and France's Ligue 1. So there you go. What? He is a precocious talent, an audacious attacking midfielder, and internally coveted prospect that's already agreed to join Manchester City when he legally can at age 18. He attracted hype even as a preteen. The hype naturally has raised uncomfortable questions about our cultural obsession with prodigies, about the utility of pushing a kid to the pros at the age of 14, and so on, especially in the context of a man whose record Sullivan broke. Adu, of course, felt short of the monstrous expectations heaped upon his innocent shoulders. Perhaps the most relevant question, though, pertains to the league Sullivan is stepping into. MLS was ill prepared to accommodate Freddie. It was ready to welcome Cavin and help him usher him through the superstardom storm. Many in and around the league believe the answer is yes because of infrastructures and resources have grown tremendously. I wouldn't know. Y'all, I have never seen a Major League Soccer game. It's just not my jam, but, God bless all the people that love soccer or football. You know, y'all have, I will say, European football fans, like the heart, the spirit, the doggone chants and everything. Y'all have heart and flair, and I appreciate it. I can't do sports ball, sorry. I do think that's a pretty good point, though. We put a lot of very big pressure on kids that show talent. I know that I was labeled gifted or advanced, and it put a certain level of expectation on me that, while it also helped me achieve, it did give me anxiety. Like, I should be doing better. I am better than this. And okay, y'all, I will say I rarely promote Disney, and it hurts me to say this. So, ugh. Y'all, Prime Day had a jar of F's, and y'all know I put that in my doggone cart and I got it. So, anywho, back to the tangent at hand. I would recommend, if you have teenage daughters, if you're anyone, go see Inside Out 2. It is a rare movie that I think equals its predecessor. I think it shows one of the most real and raw depictions of a panic attack. And I tie this back because in the story, Riley is, going to hockey camp and she wants to be a champ and she puts so much pressure on herself. And I will not spoil it, but there's definitely, I think, a fine line. And as a parent, you have kids that are doing really well. Do you push them? You want to encourage them, but not, put too much pressure on them. There's no instruction book. There's no way to do this. I do hope that the league has a lot of people, a lot of internal support, and he has family support to get him through this, because I know just having, look, y'all, I have a small channel, but even having 3,000 subs is a little head turning. It's a little like, oh my gosh, so people like to listen to me talk. They want to join me and hear what I have to think, and it's very surreal some days. So I do hope. I mean, he's going to have mega super monster level of fame stuff going on, and I do hope he has a great supportive family and you know people backing him up that help him see that just being Cavin is great too. Just being himself, not MLB, MLS star. Any hoozle, those are some stories that, I thought, well, these are stories I could do. I will be working on a little intro for these particular stories. Consider them news nuggets, if you will. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch up with you guys tonight at Nightly Newsy News at 7. So be there for the Nightly Newsy News, the best newsy news in the world. Bye, guys.